He won the Derby in the same years. Chris Muntz won on Jezebel in 1998.
Chris Muntz, an outstanding Sydney rider, very, very small and rides them hard. You watch him with a whip.
Brett Preble's had 4 rides. His best effort is a 14th place. He's looking for more today on Pentastic. I've lost it for the moment. On Thong Classic, I should say. And Miss Melissa wants to be on Pentastic. That's Craig Newitt, and we follow him with Craig Williams, who's flown in from Hong Kong.
23 men. They started their journey as apprentices as teenagers. Now they stand up there trying to claim the biggest prize in Australian racing.
What a moment for them as we're about to have the national anthem, and here's Lee Kernaghan.
Mr. Lee Kernaghan, accompanied by Brendan Radford and Janine Maunder.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in richest gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair in joyful strains, and let us sing advance Australia fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Lee Kernaghan, Brendan Radford, Janine Maunder, the Mansfield High Country Horsemen, and the children from joining the chorus as we now prepare for the running of the 2002 Tue's New
Introduction of the
Melbourne
jockeys,
Cup.
and the national anthem has taken place, and it's now the horses who will be coming to the mounting yard shortly as the jockeys now go off. Deep breath as they walk back. They will have soaked in some of the atmosphere. The Gouch has been here and done it for so many years before, as we have a look now at the latest odds for the Tue's New Melbourne Cup.
Number 1, Vinnie Rose, 7.30. 2, Jardine's Lookout, 25.70. 3, Dahlia Paw, 31.60. 4, Sandmason, 50.90. 5, Helene Vitality, 35.40. 6, Hatha Anna, 62.60. 7, Freemason, 38.90. Scratch number 8, Maguire. 9, Puget, 9.90. 10, Rain Gauge, 11.20. 11, Beekeeper, 9.90. 12, County Tyrone, 81.90. 13, Hale, 54.60. 14, Media Puzzle, 5.90. 15, Mr. Prudent, 43.80. 16, Pentastic, 36.80. 17, Prize Gem, 62.60. 18, Victory Smile, 76.90. 19, Cyclades, 39. 20, Distinctly Secret, 7.40. 21, Grey Song, 69.60. 22, Thong Classic, 30.50. 23, Miss Melissa, 17.40. 24, Requiem, 25.30. Now nearly 12 million in the win pool.
Well, Vinnie rode the Big Short and Media Puzzles into $5.90. Today's Tue's New Melbourne Cup has the biggest ever field of internationals, as Neil Kearney reports.
Are they dragons come to slay our colonial horsemen, or are they rescuing Australia's national treasure from no man's land? 8 Northern Hemisphere trained blood horses, led by the only invader ever to race off with our greatest prize.
There's now a truly great race. It always was a great race, but now it's an international race.
This past month, the Globetrotters have intrigued watchers with their eccentricities. Jardine's Lookout, who won't go anywhere without Henry. His special friend will even accompany the gelding into the winner's stall, should he get there.
He had applied for an Australian passport, but he's cancelled it.
He's become a cult figure.
Yeah, he was very upset because Channel 7 called him a scruffy little pony.
Puget with his silly walks. John Cleese couldn't look funnier, but Stringholt disease only affects Puget's walking, not his ability to conquer, nor Godolphin's craving for our holy grail.
We need to win it. It is very important for us to win. You know, Melbourne Cup, it's from the best races in the world.
But the best hope of keeping the cup in Australia might well rest with a dad's army of sorts. 85-year-old George Hanlon is our white knight. Yesterday, George was riding down memory lane along with his 1978 warhorse Arwan, the oldest Melbourne Cup winner. Today, the oldest Melbourne Cup trainer will have two in his livery, Mr Prudent and Rain Gauge, which is owned by a few Geelong cobbers.
Bought his mother about 10 years ago and raced her as a yearling.
How much you buy her for?
$700.
I know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at a horse. I'm sure of that.
Against the global call to arms, Kelvin Blackmore and his former schoolmates have their crusade to keep alive a fading Aussie dream.
It's pretty unbelievable. It just goes to show you anyone can do it. Who wants to race a horse, you don't have to be up with the blue bloods.
I don't underestimate the Australian challenge. Everybody's talking about all the international horses. You'll find there'll be some Australian horse out there that might surprise everybody.
Well, I don't know. I've got to put my best foot forward, I'd say, but I'm happy with the way things are going.
So this is the Melbourne Cup we had to have. It's become a war of the roses for soldiers of fortune in both hemispheres. But can our George slay the dragon?
Worth $60,000, the trophy there, the first prize $2.4 million for the Tue's new Melbourne Cup. And the runners will be coming from the birdcage shortly and making that famous walk through the masses on their way to the mounting yard. It's a moment, isn't it? A moment in time for horse lovers and race goers and sports fans when the horses come from the birdcage and slowly make their way through the crowd, up the race, into the mounting yard.
It's a real battleground, the mounting yard too, and that race can be too. A lot of people hanging over the fence cheering them on. Some of the horses get very stirred up. Some will need two strappers to keep them under control. Some of them will be old professionals. They'll walk around like the baker's horse. Beekeeper has two strappers. Obviously, Beekeeper very inexperienced. He needs two strappers to just keep him quiet, give him confidence, not let the occasion get to him.
Vinnie Rowe, we've been waiting to see him, haven't we? He's won 7 out of his last 8 consecutive Irish St Ledgers, but no horse has carried this weight for 33 years to have won.
Looks beautiful. Look at the gleam on his coat, a little bit of a crimp in his tail there. He's walking along. He's been to many big race meetings, but this horse is a real professional. 7 of his last 8 starts have been wins. The only loss, a second in the Ascot Gold Cup, and that was over 4,000 metres. Perhaps a little bit too far for him. He'll be well suited here today. Dermot Well's been pouring cold water on him, saying that he'd liked him to have had a little bit more weight on him, but just looking at him in the yard, he looks spot on.
6 of those 7 wins have been at 2,800 metres, so he's a fabulous stayer. Dahlia Poor has been a wonderful racehorse. He's a 7-year-old, placed in 2 derbies. He won the Coronation Cup at Epsom in 2000 when he beat Fantastic Light, who went on to be the top horse in the world. He's widely travelled.
He is widely travelled. A little bit of a grey fleck in his tail there. He's wearing a cross nose band, which is a device to keep control of him. Obviously, he likes to get on the bit. Gleaming coat on him. Very difficult to keep these horses with a good coat coming from the opposite hemisphere, but he looks fantastic.
He's from Newmarket in England. Sir Michael Stout, the trainer. Number 4, Sand Mason, English horse now trained in Australia. He won the Hardwick Stakes last year, the race that Jern won before he won the 1994 Melbourne Cup.
Hadn't shown much in Australia until his last run when he ran 4th in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. He got into the field. I expect him to take the running up here and be in the forward group.
5 Helene Vitality from Hong Kong, formerly of New Zealand, the trainer David Hayes.
Well, David Hayes has brought him here. He's a former New Zealand Derby winner, this horse. Hasn't gone the 3,200 metres with success, but does run 2,400 metres. He's just starting to run into a bit of form. His last start at Flemington was a good 4th in the Turnbull Stakes.
First of the Godolphins, Hatharana. He won at the Melbourne Cup Carnival last year. He was 4th in the Ascot Gold Cup this year.
He hasn't won since he was here last year. I think he's been brought as a travel companion, and I think he might take up the running. He might lead the field.
Has his bodyguard with him there, Hatharana. 7 Freemason, his 3rd Melbourne Cup start today.
He's been round in a lot of staying races, yet to succeed at this level, Freemason, but he's an honest galloper and he will give you a good show if you've drawn him in this week.
We haven't forgotten Jardines Lookout. We just haven't seen him yet, number 2 in the mounting yard as yet. 8 is scratched, 9 Pugin, Frankie Dettori, 2nd behind Vinnie Rowe. He's had 3 clashes with Vinnie Rowe. He's beaten him once.
There he is, high stepping with the string halt condition. Don't worry about it, it's natural for him. It won't worry him when he starts galloping. He can gallop. The 2nd to Vinnie Rowe was good, but he meets Vinnie Rowe on much better weight conditions in the handicap of the Melbourne Cup. He's a real live chance.
Here's Australia's best hope, Rain Gauge, 6th last year, George Hanlon, going for a 4th Melbourne Cup, the trainer.
A beautiful black thoroughbred just walking around the yard there, wearing the nose roll to keep his head down. This horse is a real chance. He ran 6th in the race last year. He won the Moonee Valley Gold Cup last year. He was 2nd in it this year.
Here's Beekeeper, 2 handlers to get him into the mounting yard. A baby, just 8 starts so far. Godolphin, Kieran McAvoy, the jockey.
Inexperience told on him last start when he got back in the Caulfield Cup, got back in the traffic, but when he found his way clear with about 400 metres to run, he really rattled home. I expect him to be in clear ground today and he'll show his best.
12 County Tyrone from Newcastle in New South Wales. Jim Cassidy's won a couple of races today. He's won a couple of cups. He's a Derby winner.
Queensland Derby winner. Hasn't been in great form since he's been down here. Looks like he's working up to a win, but he'll be an outsider.
13 Hale has won a New Zealand Derby. His trainer Bruce Marsh won the race on Silver Night as a jockey in 1971.
3rd in the Celt Stakes was his last decent performance in New Zealand. Since coming here, he hasn't really performed that well.
The favourite, Media Puzzle, won the Geelong Cup in record time. Damien Oliver rides for Dermot World.
How could you be anything but impressed with his win in the Geelong Cup in record time? The hard ground will suit him. Damien Oliver riding with his brother Jason up there in spirit, and I'm tipping him. I think he's the winner.
Mr. Prudent, no 8-year-old has won since 1938. Only 2 have ever won it. That's what he's trying to do today.
He's like a tough old prize fighter, Mr. Prudent. When the whips are cracking in the 2-miler, he knows what it's all about.
Jardines Lookout is arriving now. They held him back in the birdcage. Here he comes, Jardines Lookout. He won the Goodwood Cup this year. He's an out-and-out stayer from England.
Yes, 4th in the Doncaster Cup at his last start. He's come out here with his pony, mate. He's just left him. I tell you what, he looks well, and Alan Jarvis, a very, very astute trainer, has got him in great shape.
Another Australian hope, Pentastic number 16. Glenn Boss has got the ride for David Hall.
The trainer was a bit concerned the ground was going to be very hard for Pentastic, but he's been running well. He's running the McKinnon Stakes on Saturday, was good. He finished 7th. Don't be surprised if he's running on at the end.
No horses won the Brisbane Cup and the Melbourne Cup in the 1 year since McDougall in 59. Can Prize Gem do it this year?
He did it up there in Brisbane, then he went back to New Zealand, won the Celt Stakes at Group 1. He's come back here. Terrible run last start, very uncharacteristic. Can he atone? I think he can.
18 Victory Smile won the Metropolitan 2 starts ago at Randwick.
Yes, he also ran a pretty poor race last start, but the tempo was against him. Before that, he'd won the Metropolitan. He's in there with a lightweight chance.
19 Cyclades. Scott Seamer won it last year. He's already a winner at 2 miles in the Wellington Cup.
Perhaps the form 2-mile horse of the year. He's come out here and run 7th in the Saab on Saturday behind Requiem. Wasn't a bad run. He'll be a lightweight chance.
Down Under's best chance. The New Zealander Distinctly Secret. Mark Walker the trainer. Stephen King the jockey.
Perfect form. Perfectly relaxed. He's walking around there taking it all in. I think this horse has got the best form of all the Down Under runners, and he's going to be right there. His form says he will be. All the pundits will agree.
21 Grey Song. Chris Muntz won the race 4 years ago on Jezebel. 8th in the Caulfield Cup at its last start.
Yeah, former St Ledger winner. Will go the trip, but would like to have seen a soft track. He didn't get it today. I think that rules him out.
Battling trainer Pat Carey has got Thong Classic into the Cup. He won the Moonee Valley Cup at his last start.
A true story of the Melbourne Cup. A battling trainer sneaks into the field with a lightweight chance. Can he perform the dream? 23,
17-year-old Craig Newitt. Bart Cummings has won 11 of the last 37 Melbourne Cups. Miss Melisse.
Speaking of dreams, a dream come true for Craig Newitt, a 17-year-old Tasmanian jockey on the Bart Cummings horse. Well, she's got no form. She's coming off a win in Geelong in restricted grade. It's a huge step up, but she's got the trainer on her side. Requiem, part owned by Robert Sangster, David Hayes, trained by Tony McAvoy. Craig Williams flew in from Hong Kong on Sunday to ride him. Well, the horse could have been flying to Hong Kong if he hadn't started to perform, but he really has performed. He won the Saab on Saturday. That's good form. Horses about to leave the mounting yard as they make their way to the post for the 2002 Tue's new Melbourne Cup.
Tue's new, backing the Melbourne Cup.
Anticipation sky high here at Flemington as the horses have left the yard and they make their way to the 3,200 metre start in the long straight. Vinnie Rowe is the new favourite with bookmakers in the betting ring. This has been a huge plunge. He's displaced his stablemate Media Puzzle in terms of favouritism, and Distinctly Secret retains his position, a very firm third favourite. But there he is, Vinnie Rowe. So much money has come for him in the last hour and a half.
With all the sentiment around his stablemate Media Puzzle, this has to be a stable-inspired plunge. This has to be male coming back from the stable. They obviously think Vinnie Rowe is right up to his best, and if he is, 59 kilos won't matter to him.
Rain Lover, the last one to carry that sort of weight. And it's just such an impulse. There's Pujan with that funny gait in the background, and Frankie Dettori.
You can see the jockey silk starting to flap there. The headwind in the straight is really starting to play its part. Horses that race into that headwind without cover, they'll burn some energy.
Hale was in the foreground. There's Thong Classic. Didn't run on the Saturday to get in. There's Media Puzzle for Damien Oliver. Damien, a Melbourne Cup winner on Doremus in 1995. He's behind Brett Preble there on Thong Classic. And Damien will be in Perth tomorrow. His brother Jason died in a tragic race fall last week in a barrier trial in Western Australia and will be buried tomorrow.
The pressure that's on that young man. He's such a great rider. He's one of the few jockeys that could handle that sort of stress and yet produce a fabulous ride in a Melbourne Cup, and I know he will.
And a 17-year-old, Craig Newitt there with Miss Melise from Bart Cummings stable.
Imagine how his heart's pounding, Craig Newitt. He's up there on a Bart Cummings train runner in a Melbourne Cup the first year he arrived in Melbourne from Tasmania.
So the prices are going through here. Sam Mason still over 50 to 1. 15, Mr. Prudent, George Hanlon.
Geez, a tough
Brown.
old campaigner, this horse. He's been round in plenty of 2-milers.
This is his 7th 2-mile start. Daliapur, placed in both an Irish and English derbies as a 3-year-old. Won a major race in Hong Kong at Group 1. Won a Group 1 race at Epsom, the Coronation Cup. Will be trained by Tony McAvoy after this race. Vinnie Rowe. Can he do a vintage crop? Can he take it back to Ireland?
Paddy Smullen, the jockey, has ridden in Australia. He came out here as an apprentice and spent some time in Sydney.
The last horse to carry #1 and win a Melbourne Cup was Rising Fast in 1954. It's been nearly 50 years since a horse has carried that saddlecloth to success.
The Hoodoo saddlecloth and the Hoodoo Gate, Barrier 7. Only one winner in the history of the Cup since Barrier Stalls.
So Damien Oliver off Media Puzzle for the moment, as the other runners mill behind the start. There's Media Puzzle's price on the tote, $5.90. Good value in New South Wales, and Unitab, Queensland, South Australia at $6.50.
Jockeys down behind the gates getting last-minute checks on the gear. The barrier attendants will make sure that everything's in the right place. There's Sam Mason in the barrier blanket. This blanket is something they use to put him in the gates so that the gates don't touch his side and he doesn't get upset. There's another runner in it as well. I think that might be Distinctly Secret.
It is. Stephen King, the jockey. Rain Gauge. Greg Childs was quick to get on this horse, but he thought Northerly wasn't going to run. We didn't know whether Northerly was going to start or not. He rode Northerly to success in the Caulfield Cup and took the ride on Rain Gauge. He's into the stalls for Greg Childs, who would just love to win a Melbourne Cup. So the blanket's out in force here.
On Pujan. Pujan going up to his gate. Obviously, he's a horse, appreciates the barrier blanket as well.
Frankie Dettori, his 8th ride in a Melbourne Cup. He's been second before, and Distinctly Secret.
He knows what's about to happen. He's not a horse that likes the barriers, obviously. He's getting a little upset.
Thong Classic, the foreground. Freemason, the background. Helene Vitality goes past. Stephen King, 33 years of age today. In 1991, he won on Let's Elope. The Omen, well, it was his birthday that day. The other Omen, that year he won the Derby on Star of the Realm. Saturday, he won the Derby again on Hellenist. Can he do the double, as he did 11 years ago?
Hellenist's just taking his position there. Gerald Mossé, French rider, via Hong Kong to Australia.
There's the betting. $5.90 Media Puzzle, $6.90 for Vinnie Rowe, $7.50 Distinctly Secret, $9.50 for Pugin, and Beekeeper is at $9.90. And Rain Gauge, the first of the Australians, at $11.60, and then they get out to big odds.
Vinnie Rowe just took his spot. The huge plunge is now in the hands of the jockey and the starter.
Miss Meliss goes into the barrier. Jardine's Lookout, who was hurled back in the birdcage for such a long time, is about to come up. Paddy Payne, who won the Cox Plate on Northerly, about to come up, having his 7th ride in a Melbourne Cup. They're just about set. Let's join our caller, Wayne Wilson, for the 2002 Tue's new Melbourne Cup.
Thank you, Bruce. What a sight as we look out from our broadcast position here. A massive crowd at Flemington under ideal weather conditions for the running of the Tue's new Melbourne Cup. The great 2-miler, the greatest 2-miler on the planet. And we're close to a start. Pugin stands well. Rain Gauge. Sand Mason's in line. Now, Grey Song, he carries a gold cap, Grey Song. He's coming up towards his position. Beekeeper, the red cap. Hatharana has got a black cap on. A hush just ascending over Flemington. A hush that will erupt into a roar at any tick of the clock. Prize Gem moving around behind them. She won the Brisbane Cup earlier this year at 3,200 metres. She's ridden by a Queenslander, Michael Rod. She's in line. We're close now. The lights are on. Stand by. Stand by for the Melbourne Cup. Racing. An almighty roar from the crowd. Freemason, Miss Meliss going back. Requiem began nicely. County Tyrone was fast away. Dardia Poor began quickly. Thong Classic. Hatharana going forward with Sand Mason and Requiem on the outside. Beekeeper a little wide. They're linking up with the course proper. Sorting themselves out. Victory Smile just in front of Dardia Poor. Media Puzzle straight into a lovely trailing position. He is running third, just one off the rails. Cyclades is over on the inside. Sand Mason going up about 4 horses deep to take them on. Requiem is next, then Hatharana, County Tyrone. Pugin going to 6th on the outside. Frankie Dettori is jumping onto the heels of Hatharana. His stablemate is following forward. Next on the inside is Pentastic. Distinctly Secret, Mr. Prudent, followed by Thong Classic and Miss Meliss. Hales getting back in the field. Getting well back to Jardine's Lookout, then Rain Gauge, and Freemason drops to the rear. The big field thunders to the turn out of the straight in the Melbourne Cup. 2,200 metres left to go. Sand Mason takes up the running. Sand Mason leading by a length. Hatharana going to second. Frankie's caught a little wide on Pugin. He's still out 3 horses deep. He's going to third on the outside of Dardia Poor. 5th in the centre there is Requiem. Helene Vitality having a wide run. County Tyrone in the middle. Cyclades is next on the rails. Then Victory Smile. Vinnie Rose getting up into a nice trailing position. He is 2 off the fence, but he's getting cover there. Pentastic is next on the inside of Media Puzzle. Media Puzzle is right behind Vinnie. A length and a half then to Beekeeper, followed by Mr. Prudent on the inside. Distinctly Secret's out a little bit deep as well. Miss Melissa's a fair way back in the field. She's racing on the outside of Grey Song. Further back then came Hale, Rain Gauge, and Freemason is still at the rear. Out past the 1,400, and Sand Mason shows the way. Sand Mason taken on now by Hatharana. Hatharana surging to the front to lead by 3/4 of a length on Sand Mason. Pugin is now dropping into a beautiful trailing position. He's 2 lengths away in third spot, followed then by Helene Vitality getting a nice run, and Vinnie Rowe is right on the heels of Pugin. He's starting to follow forward behind him. Dardia Poor is on the inside. Media Puzzle just seemed to lose his position a little bit. He's back behind Cyclades. Beekeeper coming to the outside. Victory Smile and Pentastic. Distinctly Secret has never been on the track. He's going wide, and so is Jardine's Lookout. They're approaching the home turn. 600 metres left to go in the Melbourne Cup. They're on the bend now. Hatharana's just in front. Vinnie Rose making a dash, and so is Media Puzzle. Here comes Damien on Media Puzzle. Vinnie Rowe and Media Puzzle. Beekeeper to the outside, putting in a great run. Distinctly Secret is next, followed then by Pentastic. fantastic. Media Puzzle. Media Puzzle. Damien takes him to the lead with 200 metres to go. And he's shot away. Media Puzzle 3 lengths in front. This is the one that Damien's wanted. This is the one that he's riding for Jason. And Media Puzzle goes to the line to win the Melbourne Cup. Damien stands high in the irons, salutes the heavens. That's for Jason. It's Media Puzzle, the winner of the Melbourne Cup. Oh, a great go second and third. Beekeeper's there, Mr. Prudence there. Vinnie Rowe had his chance, then Fantastic, followed in by Distinctly Secret. The next one in was Freemason, Miss Melez, County Tyrone, Prize Gem, further back with Grey Song, Jardine's Lookout, further back came Thong Classic, Rain Gauge, Hale, and Dahlia Poor, or a few of these are pulling up a mile back. Victory Smile, Sand Mason, Helene Vitality, Puget pulled up quickly with Requiem, and Hatharana, one of the last over the line. What a Melbourne Cup victory to Media Puzzle and Damien Oliver. What a win.
142 runnings of the Cup. Has it been a better story? A more emotional one? See the breaches, Jason Oliver. Damien riding for his brother here. What a moment for Dermot Weld as well. He's done it again, Peter Donegan.
Dermot Weld, just asking about where Vinnie Rowe finished, but you know where Media Puzzle finished. Is it sweeter the second time around?
Yes, it is indeed. This was a wonderful day. I'm delighted for everybody concerned, for my staff who've done such a wonderful job with this horse. And this was very special.
You're normally so calm and cool and collected, Dermot. We've seen that many times, but a bit of a shake-up at the moment.
Yeah, there's times, you know, these are special moments in life. These things happen. I was so thrilled turning for home to see my 2 horses fighting out in Melbourne Cup. You know, they've come 12,000 miles to do this. And just watching the rerun, Vinnie Rowe for a 4-year-old has run a wonderful race. I'm delighted for Mike Watt and Jim Sheridan, who are my part owners in Vinnie Rowe, that he hasn't let us down for a big run on a track that was too firm for him. But he'll be back. But today was Media Puzzle's day.
Many of the people watching this in Europe would probably think, how could this horse win a Melbourne Cup? But his improvement since he's been here has been astronomical.
2 years ago, after he ran 4th in the English St. Leger, I said in the 4th enclosure to Mike Dillon of Ladbrokes that I'd win the Melbourne Cup with this horse. And in fact, he fractured his pelvis quite badly, stood in a box for 4.5 months, and we brought him back to today.
9 years ago, I congratulated you on internationalising the Melbourne Cup. I do it again. Dermot Weld, congratulations.
Thank you, Peter. My pleasure.
And a big one today, which meant a lot to you.
Yeah, mate.
I'll get you in a minute. I want you really up high on this one.
Yep.
Okay? We're ready to go. Damien, this one meant a lot to you, didn't it, the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, it did, Johnny. It's going to be hard to keep this together.
I know it is, mate, but the Australia and the world's with you.
Yeah, mate. Melbourne Cups don't mean a thing to me anymore. I'd give it back right now to have my brother back.
Yeah, mate, we can understand that, but this was for him, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
It really was, and you're a very close family, and today was something very, very special for you. It wasn't just a Melbourne Cup. It was everything about yourself and your family.
Well, yeah, the family's been through a hard time. All the family and friends have been so good. I mean, it's so tragic to lose someone in the family so young. And it just goes to show you should never take anything for granted. And, you know, always appreciate your loved ones.
Yeah, Damien, you know, over there, we're about a furlong away or 200 metres from over 100,000 people are just going to go crazy for you because they all rode, I think they all rode the horse with you today.
Yeah, the crowd's been great. I've been having a shocker. But they stuck with me, and this all credit with this horse, mate. He was just far too good today. I got there too early, but he was just too good.
Congratulations, Dame. Very deserving.
Thanks, mate.
Damien Oliver, just the mixed emotions that to be course.